Hello, thank you for first of all for hiring our van. I'm Mark, my wife Jenny is filming. So we've just arrived to the site. It's a bit of a demonstration video of how to use our caravan. So we've just arrived here, so the best thing to do first of all is to take all the gear out of the front of the camper, like this, simply like this. Just start removing it all, and I normally just put it onto the green tarp here. Okay, after getting all the equipment out of the front, let's stop just to close the hatch again. So you've just arrived. The ground here of course is pretty level, so I don't need to put the ramps under, but if your ground is pretty out of level, we've got the ramps here that you can use. So before you unhitch the car, you put these under the wheels, and you've got 3 different ramps. You can go up, pop it under the wheels, put your chocks under the wheel. You can put that in front of the ramp if you want to, or if it's the other wheel, just put the chocks under the wheel, both sides of the camper. Spirit level. So you can basically check. What I normally do is put the spirit level across the back bumper bar. Yep, it's level that way. So now we want to check it the other way. So we've got, with the ramps, we've got it going level that way. Now, the best thing to do is to take the jockey wheel out of the car, or if you put it in the front of the van, you can here in the front, the jockey wheel will fit in there. The only thing, just as a reminder, if you put the jockey wheel in there, it does add a fair bit of more weight on your tow bar down pressure, because it's a fairly heavy wheel. I normally carry them in the car. Pop your jockey wheel onto the, so unscrewing this, these notches fit in into your slot. So before you go to jack it up, got your chocks under your wheels. Just apply the handbrake. That's important, especially if you're on a hill. Just by pulling this lever up tight as you can and go into there, and that's locks into this here. That's your handbrake on. The caravan will pretty well be secure, especially if it's on a flat surface. It's spot on. You've got to remember that when you hook the caravan back up, all back on the car, that you release the handbrake. Very important. Okay. So to release, you just pull this back out, lift that little lever up. This little lever, just let that hang right down there like that. Just let it hang right down like this. It's fine. Okay. Disconnect the couplings, your fridge coupling and your power lead from the car. Pop them back here somewhere. And undo the chains. This chain should always be crossed over like this. There we go. It's all pretty easy really, it's not that hard. Take your chains down. There's a pin under here. Pull this pin out. Okay, pop that there for now. And start winding the jockey wheel. Take the pressure off the car. You find your caravan starts to go, or the camper starts to go up. As it goes up, you find this becomes loose. Pull that right out. Just be careful not to lose these. Okay, so that's all loose now. Now you can run the car forward. Alright, we've got the car unhitched now. Check the level across the drawbar. Now you can adjust the van this way just by putting the jockey wheel down or up. Okay, after levelling the van, you need to grab the longer crank handle, not the short one, the longer one. And we've got to come over here, we're going to put the stabiliser legs down. Why this is important to do this, because when you hop in the van, you don't want the van tipping. And then I'm just going to do one, just for the demo here. And you just get it so it just sits on the ground. But if you crank up too high, you're going to get your level out again. Okay, so that's just pick it up now. Alright, now that we've got the legs down on all four corners of the van, next part is to start winding the roof up. Now, before we wind the roof up, these little straps, pull these straps out, one on both sides, and you've also got to disconnect. These are very important to have these locks for your roof right down like that. Make sure the locks are right down. There's one on all four corners. There we go. Just going to pull that up a bit. That off. And the other one here. You need to get your key. It's a little white plastic key. That goes in a little hatch here in the van this side. Just undo that. Now you'll see, just got to get down, there's a tube in there that the end of this fits into. It can be a little bit tricky to find, but especially in this sort of light. There you go. Right, now, important to go slow with this handle, and to put the roof up you go in a clockwise direction. And find the roof will start to go up. Slow, just nice and slow like this. Just make sure all four corners are going up evenly. Okay, crank it up. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. You don't go all the way up. There's a bit of a funny design issue with this campers. You go up around about halfway up. Then what we need to do here, see these, get the top bar and the bottom bar, just lift this bar up just gently until it comes to its stop there, and do that on all four corners. The main reason being, if you don't do that, what can happen, the top bar can fall out of this one, and so just a real major drama getting it back in. So you just get this, so you want to pull up your hand. It's not that hard. This one's some of them come up automatically. Another issue was why we pull these up, why they sometimes don't come up, and why it's important that the van is on a level ground, because if the van's on a very leaning angle and you start putting the roof up, the roof's going to pull one way and it's going to make the mechanism jam up. So that's why it's important to get the van level first. Okay. So all the canvas is going up, there's nothing getting caught anywhere. So I'll keep cranking it up. As you'll see, this little green cable here is only on this one. That's got to be just tight, and then it's up all the way. So I'm just going at the same rate, jacking it up. Janking this, that's pretty good there. I'm just going up, and see if we see this, that's as tight as you want it. No tighter, that's as tight as you want it. Alright, so now your roof is up. Right, after you put the roof up, these are the safety poles. These are important to go in. Now the safety poles, just pop them on the outside edge of each pole. Just pull these back. They just go in here like this. just sort of scissor, you find a piece of timber up there, just fits into there like that. You may have to maybe put the roof up a little bit if it's too tight, but if that's that tension, that's perfect. That. Do this on all four. Okay, you find that one's a tiny bit loose, so what I'll do here, I'll just open up the little box again. I'll just wind that just backwards, anti-clockwise, just a little bit. Like that, that's enough. I'll check that other pole. Make sure that's fitting in there. Yep, that's nice and tight now. I'll leave that now. Yep, they're all good. These covers go over the top and just Velcro onto here. From this point we've got the roof up, the 4 poles, safety poles on. Right now we've got to slide the beds out, but before we do that we've got to make sure, if you come here, if we can see the shaft, this bed slides out from these. So this canvas has got to be completely away, and so this is unobstructed by canvas. We'll check on both sides. That's just got to be put on. Couple of, another issue too that was in these front. We have got a little step here that you can use to step on, just to get things right. If you're, like I'm 6'1" and I still need to step, so hopefully that's all okay. Put that away. Alright, so they're all clear. I'm now going to pull the bed out from the centre. Just got to go slow, nothing fast. Just make sure that nothing catches on the corners. It's all pretty good. Just keep going now all the way. It will come to a stop. There you go, it's a stop. Now in the video I'm only going to do one side on the video, but under the mattresses on both sides are these bars. Now this is the front. So what happens, you see these pegs here, one there and one on the other side, and under here they clip into here. So all you do is you put your shoulder under it, or get somebody else to give you a bit of a hand. These slot in like this on both sides. Now it's important that we get those up before anybody jumps on the top here. Of course, it's pretty obvious because kids can jump on there without these bars and it'll probably break the bed. So that's nice and solid. Those bars are found in there. And just to quickly show you the rear, I won't show you the full, these are also found under the mattress. And these ones here go into the back rear bumper bar. And then underneath here, like so. Okay, just to quickly show you, on these bars, they've got little loops. You put them on the inside like this, you can put an hockey strap between these, and that's a good little clothesline. And the bed's slid out, we've got the poles under this side as well as the rear. So I'm just going to put the oak go inside the van now. Open the door, put the catch on. Step just lifts it. That's a step. You come inside the van. What we found is that the easiest way to put the Velcro underneath is, first of all, this bar here. They call it a hockey stick. That sits this way.
that way. Yeah.
Under here you see a bar. It says bar here. Put the end of the stick in there. That puts that up, and here's this slots into that slot. It just takes a little bit of pressure, not a lot. Pop it in there, slide it across. Now we come back outside the van. Pull your canvas. Now see your canvas is sitting in a nice position now. Pull your canvas nice and tight on that corner. Go around to the other corner. Now it's all in position. Tighten your canvas up on the Velcro underneath. It's important to do it in that order, otherwise you'll find it's very hard to put the Velcro on and you end up tearing the corners here. So it's important to do it in that order. I have seen some videos where they have it stretching this canvas over before you put the hockey stick up, and people are having a lot of trouble in putting the canvas around the edges. So this is definitely the best way. Velcro it in, and there we go. That's all good to go. It's a demonstration how to put the door together. Once you've done it once, it's quite easy, but the first step is to hop inside the van and close the lower door. Take off the latch, shut the lower door, and what you'll find, this door has got a plastic around it. Leave that on for now. It's a good idea. It's a little bit weighty, so probably get someone to give you a hand. There's little clips here. All you do is push them sideways, and then this will come off the roof. Now you'll find that this tries to push forward. That's okay. All right. You see it's on a plate. That can drop, so it's a good idea when you do that just to support that. Otherwise, it gives you a fright. So you lower the door, push the canvas out of the way, lift that up like that. The canvas out of the way, and you'll see these holes. They fit in the pins under here. So you've got to line the little pins up with the door like that. Slots in. That's nicely slotted in. Now what you do is that this plate, you push that in like that, and then you turn these little handles around like this. All right, and they'll hold that in position. It's a bit loose, that one, but you can sort of tighten around. It'll tighten around, but you got that. There you go. So that's tight now. Just okay. Now what you do, when you got that part of it in, you'll find this Velcro here. Just undo this. This is the plastic sheet that's on the outside. Now while you leave that on, because it keeps the whole thing together, it just makes it easier to line up in the holes. Pull that off like that. There you go. There's your plastic. We normally just poke that under the pillow, fold it up under the pillow here. That's a good spot for it. Then what you can do is your little catch here. Right, click that in, and that locks the front and the bottom with this. So that you can't actually unlock that unless you pull that little chrome pin up. Then you can unlock it. So that's locked up. Then you can just undo these two little pins here. And this canvas here, make that nice and tight. That folds in there like so. So you can actually open the door now. Go on. You can open the door, make it a bit easier to get into. But that fits into the little slots here, like this. So you just push it. You push it in all the way down. You do that on both sides. All right, that's on that one. Do the same with this one. That. Go all the way down. Takes a little bit of fiddling around, but once you get it done, so this is all nicely locked in. Don't worry about that's a little bit bent, but that'll just sit there like that, nice. And come around the outside. Careful, you don't fall over there. Close the door, and this Velcro. This is where this little step comes in easy. Up on your step. You see here, you've got Velcro up here where the other plastic Velcro came off, and you just Velcro this all the way up to the top of the door. Poke that in there like that. You do the same on the other side. So your little step does come in handy. I'm 102 kilos, so I think it's up to 120 kilos this little step, so I'm sure it'll take more. Okay, so there's your door. Now to put it back on the roof, you do the exact opposite to what I've just done. And then you got your roof sorted. Put that plastic back on the outside, you do the exact opposite. You put the plastic through from the inside. Okay, with all these steps that I've shown you in this video, always refer to the handbook manual that we did up, which is in the front compartment of the camper. So if you have any problems with trying to understand it, you can always read and refer back to that manual as well, especially if you are off-grid and no internet, you can't obviously watch a video. Okay, when going to pack the bed back up, the little hockey stick inside, you just click that down again, put that back under the mattress. But a good idea is to then pull the Velcro out from around the outside and just fold the tarp to the middle on both sides. So it's just folded into the middle, and just same thing, and take your bars out by putting your shoulders under it. Best place to leave these is just underneath the mattress there. Just make sure everything's folded in. Then go around the canvas the same as before, making sure that the canvas is free, that these bits where the bed will slide into is free. Now, I'll do that on the other side. Both sides, yep, free. Okay, now there is a label here that you can have a look at. Just gently then, from the middle, just gently push the bed in, making sure nothing's getting caught on the edges here. You're fine, just keep pushing the bed in until it just goes down over this roller here, and that's fine. You can push it a bit further in. But that's basically it. You've got that. Just push that nice and make sure everything's nicely in there. That's good, and that's really put the beds back in. You do the same on the other side, exactly the same thing, and it's all good to go. Okay, so we've Velcro just these back on behind the pole. Now we're going to wind the roof down slowly. One thing important with these type of winders, you don't go nothing's very fast with it. The problem is if you unwind it too fast in the anti-clockwise direction, you could release the cable off one of the rollers. So you just go slow and just watch the roof going down. And that's nice and slow. Go about halfway. It's going down on all four corners. It's always a good idea to get somebody else, have a look around the back, make sure everything's going in okay there too. One of the kids or someone like that, your husband or wife. Okay, from here, important just to push the canvas back into the middle. making sure that this edge here is nice and tight. Because this edge here is where the roof comes down over the top. So it's important to have this without anything in the way. So nothing hangs out down below it. Pushing it in just gently. Making sure it's all nice and in. Yep, that's all good. I'll come back to the winder now. Let it go down a bit lower. See this bit here is sort of hanging out. Just tuck that in there so it stays in there. Keep going down. It can stay in there. Just go down. You see I'm still going down. I'm fairly low here. Probably at this stage I'll stop again and I'll do the same thing again. Pushing it in all the way. The main objective is to keep this part here nice and tight. Same here. Camera. The canvas here is hanging down. Push it in back over the bed. This goes in. Same with this end. There we go. Go nicely back in. About 3 or 4 stages I find does it pretty well. Just go nice and slow. Okay, keep going down a bit lower. I'll go down to about this, probably about 100 mil. Tuck that in with your hand again. You see here, there's a bit poking out here. So these little bits here, just tuck them back in. They're the bits you've got to watch out for. That's all good. That's all good. Here you'll find, see this bit here? This little bit here is coming out, so just poke that back in. You won't do any damage that way, and also when it's travelling it won't wreck the outside of the canvas. So make sure the front's all in, yep. You check that by just lifting this up, that's all good. Right, I'll put down a bit lower. Now this is the part here, when it comes down to this side, you find the cable will go loose. Just give it a bit of a push with your hand down. And where the door is, the roof here has got to go over the door. So I normally just pull the roof rack down a bit with my hand, and you'll find that's what you need to do, because you don't want to release this cable till it gets really sloppy. So it's obviously, the cable's down as far as it'll go, but you just got to pad down the mattresses and things. That's what that last push with your hand is. So I'm doing that on this side too. Pulling it down with my hand. And the last thing of all, when that's all down, you'll see it's down all the way, then put your clips on. You pull that down, put your clips. They shouldn't be too tight. If they are really, if you think they're too tight, maybe this could have been moved in while you're camped. You know, someone might have been playing with it. Just sort of, just firm, but not super tight. Just basically a bit of common sense used here. See, I find, see that's pretty loose. So what I would do there is just screw it in a couple of turns. Oh yeah, that's probably still a bit loose. Yeah, that's nice and just not over tight, just nice and firm. It's the same with all 4 of these. There we go, look at that. See, that's probably a little bit tight. Undo it a bit. Yep, beautiful. Same with the back one. Pull it down a bit with your hand. Yep, it's probably still a bit tight there. There we go. That's it now. You'll see as well. Come around here. Is that now the door is within this under there, and I've got the catch. I've got the little catch locked in as well, and you can lock your door if you want to. People can't actually get in there unless they put the roof up. Now the last stage here, put your little clips back in. What that does, it stops the there you go. It stops the wind from pushing this up if you're going over the speed limit basically. In this video we're going to show you with all the awnings set up. So the best way to go about that is to, parts of it I'm not going to show you again, but parts of it, just again, same thing. Quickly just undo these. Undo the four latches. Okay, then the best way to do it, because once you've got the roof up, it's too high to reach to unzip all these zips. The best way, just undo these clips, safety clips here. And then undo the bag. With this awning here, it's quite important. Just let that hang. I normally just let it sit down in here. Now this is the part to do it. Same thing before, just undo your hatch. Just as you're going up, just make sure that this front one doesn't get caught on the gas bottles. The rear one should be okay, but it's probably a good idea just to have someone go around it as you're cranking it up, just making sure that the tarps, none of the awnings are getting caught on anything. All the poles are found in the tube in the front here. Just unscrew that and you'll see them all in here. They just go straight back in there. Okay, this is pretty well like setting up a tent. These click on the roof of the van. So the first thing to do would be to up under here. And you'll see up in the top here, there's a little catch up here, see? There. That just fits into that slot, like so. Loosen off all your screws here. Make it nice and loose. No need to really stress out a bit. And with these poles, put them all the way in, so they're not all the way out. What we just do just for now, you hang one through here, and the other one, bring that out a bit. You can just hang on there like that. Now you just hold it. I'm doing this up on myself. It's of course a lot easier if you've got someone else. If it looks like it's raining, just leave one corner of the roof down, lower than the other one, so the water doesn't settle in the top. So as you'll see here, I'll leave that up. And if you look back here, you see come back out here, you see the angle of the roof. Right, so that's sort of in the position you want it if it's raining. Come around here, see? This one here just fits in a little hole there. Okay, so you got the centre. I've got my step and I put the centre bar in here. This one here just clicks in like so, and you can just pull that. It gives an extra bit of strength. There we go. So that's the side awning up. What you do then, I'm not going to put every peg down, but with the door side awning and the big awning on the other side, we use these bolts because they're really good wind resistance bolts. So I screw them in about from this distance into the ground with this bar, the same one you use for the legs on the caravan. Go anti-clockwise and they go straight into the ground. Bit of tension on it. So don't put a lot of tension on it. What I normally do is I put a little bit of tension on it until I get the other side down, because otherwise what's going to happen, you'll pull the roof over one direction. But try to keep the roof without a lot of load until you get it all evenly. This is the idea about not putting too much load on the roof, and also having the wooden poles in here also does a lot of work. Because if you think about it, all the way to that roof is just on the cables. That's why we put the safety poles in there. So when you tie down the awnings, it's all tight. Okay, this is the side awning over the opposite to the door side. So all we've got is the same thing. Basically, there's no poles that go inside the roof. It's just the centre pole. There's this pole here, actually you just twist it and push it. The other two you use a little bolts here in and out and tighten them. I've got our two screw bolts in each corner to hold the edges in, and I've got a big peg here which it's also in your peg bag. I've got the poles in through the eyelets here, some little eyelets up there. So if you take this out, you can basically then see where you want to put your pegs, which is down here. So I've sort of already pegged that in, but you know where to put them on an angle. Okay, these little end bits just go around. They just go around here to keep them tight. So I think this is so this part is exactly the same as the front. Okay, here I won't do that in this video because we've already done it in the earlier on. You take the bed out now, and it's the same thing when you go to pack it up. When all this is set up like this, you push the beds in first. An ideal situation, because if it's raining, all your bedding is not going to get wet when you're actually packing up, because this is going to keep you dry. So from that point, you let all the poles down, your ropes down, put your pegs away. Okay, now as we've rolled it down, put all the poles away. I've just left through for about a gap like that. Now we're going to roll up all the awnings and put them away, just by rolling it up and zipping them in. Okay, we've rolled up all the awnings, and so now it's exactly the same as before. Just go easy with the winder and make sure that everything is poked in. Last thing to remember, once you've got all the roof back down, just before you close the hatch, just put a little bit of tension on that cable. You can hear a click, so just as a little bit of tension, not much, just one little click, just to keep it tight when you go back. Okay, that's about it.